name is Brian Gonzalez, and this is Anatomy Physiology Part 2. So this is going to be for the endocrine system. So basically, the location, structure, and function of the endocrine glands would be the pituitary gland, the hypophysis, I think you say it. The location would pretty much be like inferior to the hypothalamus, connected with the stalk called the infundibulum. It pretty much sits at the sphenoid bone at the base of the brain. The structure would be the two main lobes, the anterior and then the posterior. Some of the functions would be called the master gland, I believe it's called. Pretty much because it secretly hormones like that control the other endocrine glands. The thyroid gland, the location for that one would be anterior to the trachea, and the interior to the larynx. The larynx is pretty much the voice box. It's also anterior to the cervical, the neck region. The structure is like a butterfly shape with two lobes connected to the central um, isthmus. The function would pretty much produce like T3 and T4 hormones, which regulates metabolism, heart rate, and growth. Um, and I think it also helps to regulate calcium. The adrenal glands would be located like superior to the kidney in the abdominal cavity. The structure would be two regions, would be the cortex, the outer, and the medulla would be the inner. The functions of the cortex would release cortisol, um, al- aldosterone, and androgens. The medulla would secrete adrenaline and north for the stress of response. The pancreas is the endocrine portion. The location would just be posterior to the stomach in the upper left quadrant of the abdominal cavity. The structure would be like the mixed glands for digestion and endocrine for hormone production. The function for the endocrine cells would release insulin to pretty much just lower your blood sugar, like if you're diabetic, and the glucagon would just pretty much raise the blood sugar. Same thing if it's too low, too high. So I feel like some of the relations between the hypothalamus and the hypophysis and other glands, the hypothalamus would pretty much control the pituitary gland by sending and releasing hormones through the hypophyseal portal system. Pretty much just like to work with the blood vessels. The anterior would respond to the hypothalamic hormone by releasing its own hormones, pretty much just like TSH, ACTH, LH. The posterior would store and release hormones made by the hypothalamus, um, and the oxycontin. For example, the hypothalamus releases TRH, would be the thyroid release hormone, which pretty much just tells the anterior to release the thyroid stimulating hormone who release or it pretty much stimulates the thyroid gland to produce T3 and T4 to increase the metabolism. The connection is called hypothalamic pituitary axis, and it's pretty much in regulation many endocrine functions. I feel like some of the things, so primary versus secondary versus tertiary endocrine disorders. For the primary disorder, it would pretty much be the problem in the target like gland itself. For a little example, like the thyroid gland is damaged and not produced T3, T4 is primary, the hypothyroidism. Second disorder, I would say would probably is going to be the problem in the pituitary gland, which signals the target glands. For example, the pituitary gland releases the THS, so the thyroid isn't stimulated. The tertiary disorder problem in the hypothalamus For the hypothalamus falls to release TRH, affecting the pituitary and the thyroid. Um, so that's pretty much it for my presentation today. Thank you for watching.